Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you're able to hear us because you have power, or at least battery power. I guess there is battery power. Of course, not so much on the internet, perhaps. But, man, is it cold. I'll tell you that right now. It is dang cold in Texas and, everywhere. Pretty much all over the country. Maybe California and Florida are spared. And last I saw of the chill map, it hadn't quite gotten to Florida yet, or Southern California. It was everywhere else, though. Everywhere else. And by the way, Keith is back, and he's at home. Because he can't drive right now.
I mean, that's the short answer.
Yes.
But with all the craziness and stuff, leaving the kids here with Carrie as my chauffeur is probably not the best idea with the rolling blackouts. And
no, that's probably true.
We had a pipe freeze last night, so it's been fun.
Yeah, so it has been fun, hasn't it? It's the rolling blackouts I enjoyed a lot. Every 45 minutes, the power goes off. And it stays off for, 45 minutes to an hour. And then it pops back on, and it might be on for an hour, and then it goes back off. And then it's off for 45 minutes or an hour, and then it's back on.
That's if you're lucky, though, because there's so many people who have had no electricity for going on over 24 hours now. I mean, Corby, who runs the board, 20 hours without electricity for him.
20 hours, Corby? Really? Is it back on now? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Good. That's good.
Yeah, so it's almost like 15 days to flatten the curve.
Yeah.
45 minutes, how about 24 hours?
At one point, it was 3.8 million in Texas. 3.8 million without power. What in the hell is good? This is Texas! We're supposed to have infrastructure here. We've built power plants here. We've got the largest nuclear power plant in the nation here. It's offline. Yeah, it's offline. We don't have any power coming from South Texas power plant. That's offline. That's offline? What are you talking about? What about all the wind generating? The wind generating turbines that we have all that power coming from West Texas. Yeah, they're all frozen. Every one of the wind turbines froze. They're not producing any power. What are we doing? Do you know that's why we use oil and gas? Do you know that? For the love of heaven, by all that is good, right, and holy, can we please, for the love of heaven, go back to oil and gas? Natural gas. It works. It burns clean. It works. Houses don't blow up like they try to scare you in the Northeast. Your house will blow up if you have natural gas. It happens all the time. Houses just explode. No, I've never seen it happen. Never seen it happen.
That would definitely be on the news a little more often.
Yes, it would.
Were the case, I think you probably hear about the house blow-up epidemic of the Northeast.
You know, it's a much better idea in the Northeast is a 900-gallon oil tank in your basement. That's that's a lot better idea. That's completely safe, and man, does that burn clean.
Can I just say regarding our frozen wind turbines, which are now being unfrozen through fossil fuel magic? I read yesterday that I did some research, Pat, and it's pushing 20% of Texas energy comes from wind turbines, which is just ridiculous, especially in times like this.
Unreal.
Yeah, and so then I decided to do a little Google News search of Greg Abbott and wind turbines, and I found a story dated literally a week ago, February 9th, where he got an award from the wind energy because it's a leadership award.
Because he's leading the way.
He's leading the way with wind turbines. Well, I got news for you.
It's asinine.
Give the award back because this is stupid.
It's asinine. we make fun of California all the time for their rolling blackouts. So what happens as soon as anything gets extreme?
Yeah.
Rolling blackouts in Texas.
That's what the Babylon Bee said. California transplants to Texas are feeling at home.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's madness. Then, okay, that's not bad enough. Then, yeah, the water plants are down now. The water plants are down? What are you talking about? Yeah, nobody's at the water plant, so you got to boil your water. I've got to boil my water?
Yeah.
Am I in 1896? What are you talking about? I got to boil my water.
Mm-hmm.
And without power, how do I boil my water? Jeez,
yeah.
I can't take it. I mean, fortunately, we have natural gas that heats our, that our oven is natural gas. But without power, you can't start it, so you have to do it the old-fashioned way with a match.
Oh, boy.
And then I guess, if you have a barbecue grill outside, you could heat your water on that if you need to.
What, are you going to take some hot coals?
Damn cold out there, but at least you could boil your water. It's unbelievable. We're like stuck in the early 1900s here.
It's seriously, this cascaded all over a course of like 6 or 8 hours yesterday.
And why? Because it's cold and it snowed in Texas. I mean, come on. This does happen in Dallas, Texas. I mean, it's rare that it gets this bad, but the last time was 1989. It's not 1889. It was 1989, the last time it was this cold.
Yeah.
In Dallas, Texas.
Fun fact from yesterday is that our high temperature was colder than the record low temperature for this day.
My gosh. Wow.
That was impressive.
That is impressive. I mean, this is a serious cold snap. There's no doubt. It's a polar vortex. Look, up in the sky. It's an Arctic cold front. No, it's a polar vortex. Can't be just it can't be just an Arctic cold front anymore. It can't be. It used to be cold Canadian air is spilling down into the United States. I lived in Montana, so we got Canadian cold fronts all the time. Now it's a polar vortex. Why? And by the way, who wouldn't sign on for a little global warming right now? I know I would.
Whoa.
I'd like a lot of global warming, as a matter of fact.
Pat, what would it be out there if not for global warming? You remember Obama said, what would the Great Recession be? If we didn't interact, it would have been the end of the world. So right now we'd probably be at minus 50 if not for global warming. Either that or it would be, I don't know, because they blame the polar vortex on global warming as well. So all of this cold air is because of warming as well. And I don't know exactly how that works. None of it makes any sense. But I'm pissed off about it. Right. Okay? No,
I'm really pissed off about it.
I'm looking for a quote from a scientist. It's so funny you mentioned that just from the other day where this guy says, don't get excited because there was no pollution when everybody was shut down in 2020. Just because we didn't have all that. He talked about how pollution particles were actually it was the exact opposite of what we've been told our whole life.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Makes the temperature go up. He's like, no, those pollution particles. I got to find this quote and send it to you.
So pollution is good?
Pollution particles good, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, wow.
It's just like you always say. It doesn't matter what is happening.
No, they win the argument no matter what.
Exactly.
They win no matter what. If it's hot, it's global warming. If it's cold, it's global warming. Do you see anybody right now saying, hey, did you notice that it's below zero in 3/4 of the United States of America, and you're trying to sell us your global warming slop? Well, weather, you can't confuse weather with climate. You do all summer long. Every time it gets hot, it's global warming. But the cold, that's also global warming. So we can't win the argument no matter what. In Germany right now, they're turning back to coal and gas for energy. Why? because all the solar panels are covered in snow and they're giving off no energy. That's why. They're getting zero energy from their solar panels. This is pretty amazing. There's a German who is mentioning just how ridiculous the renewable energy movement has been for Germany. He says, Professor Schwartz says, with this supply of wind and photovoltaic energy, it's between 0 and 2 or 3%. Okay, so they get about between 0 and 2 or 3% from wind and photovoltaic, which is solar energy. He said that's de facto zero. You can see it in many diagrams that we have. Days, weeks in the year. Days and weeks in the year where we have neither wind nor photovoltaic. Especially this time, for example, there is no wind and no PV. And there are often times when the wind is very minuscule. These are things, I must say, that have been physically established and known for centuries. And we've simply totally neglected this during the green energy discussion. Yeah. Thank you, Professor Schwartz, for admitting that we've known this forever.
That's what fanatical religions or cults do. They just ignore the facts and plow ahead, right?
Well, that's what they've done. Yes, that's exactly what's happened. It's exactly what's happened. And then now, even in Texas, where you got 20% of your energy now coming from wind, then when you really need it, when the chips are down, sorry, it's all frozen and we're not getting any power from it. And so now we've got blackouts, rolling or otherwise. I mean, it's just asinine. I can't take it. I can't take it. But I have to because we're going to have another 5 or 6 days of it. So that's great.
Right. Do you remember about 20 years ago, it was shortly after 9/11 that terrorists attacked Spain, and Spain reacted by going with a docile green government, and they changed their economy.
Yeah.
And they regretted it. It screwed up their economy when they went green with everything. They learned their lesson. Now Germany learning their lesson. America, are we going to learn our lesson? Because you just said, let's go back to oil and gas. Well, what is the Biden administration day one doing right out of the gate? We're screwed.
Oh, it's not going to be good. It is not going to be good. And, in northern climates where they're not dependent on 20% of their energy coming from wind turbines, they're fine as far as power is concerned. Do you hear about Montana enrolling blackouts? No. Is Utah enrolling blackouts right now? No. Is Colorado enrolling blackouts right now? No. Do you think they're warmer than Texas? Do you think they're using less energy than we are? I mean, it's madness.
Yep.
It's madness. All right, let me take a minute and tell you about Ref Greens. Been talking about it for quite a while now. It's a powder that you sprinkle over your dog's food. Just really easy. But with that simple act, you're providing your dog with essential vitamins and minerals, probiotics, omega oils, basically all the things he or she needs to be healthier and happier and to have a more active lifestyle. Most dogs love this stuff right out of the gate. My dog certainly did. She wouldn't eat her food without Rough Greens sprinkled on top. And I hear stories all the time about dogs, even picky ones, who literally wolf their food down as soon as the Rough Greens is sprinkled on top. And who can blame them? After all, the dry kibble food that we feed our dogs has all the nutrients cooked out of it. So it can have a long shelf life when it gets to the store. It's basically dead food, though. Sometimes it can take your dog a little bit to get used to Rough Greens. So the first thing we want to see is if your dog will eat it. You can get a free bag of Rough Greens for your dog to try out. All you pay is shipping. Now, my dog didn't take any time to get into Rough Greens. She immediately took to it. So see if yours will. Just go to roughgreens.com. That's roughgreens.com. Or call 833-ROUGH-DOG. That's RUFF, dog.
Gray. Unleashed.
All right. 888-900-3393. I guess there's other things happening besides the weather. Although the weather is a pretty big deal right now. When you can't get around in a place, I mean, everything's closed today. Looks like I think pretty much all schools are closed, and a lot of businesses have shut down because of the water situation and because of the rolling blackouts. And if the business is shut down, maybe you can provide homes with more energy. There were some people who were staying all day long at Walmart yesterday because that's the only place they could go that had warmth. Otherwise, without power, and it was, what was the high yesterday? 14, 12, something like that?
I think that's right. I'll look that up.
It was really cold, and it didn't feel like 14. It felt like about 14 below. So it was nasty cold, and if you didn't have power, you were in a bad way. So a lot of people just went to a big box store and sat in a Walmart all day long. Amazing.
My goodness, and as bad as it was yesterday with the power outages and the water issues, and obviously travel was treacherous. And actually,
it's going to be worse tomorrow.
I was going to say there was a little earthquake out in West Texas. I had to look that up, and sure enough, there was a 3.3. But anyway, wow. Because it just feels like the end of the world for Texas right now. But you're exactly right what you just said. The weather tonight is going to probably be worse than what we just went through, because this is going to have ice with it.
Yep. Yeah, sleet and ice and snow. So you get a nice layer of sleet, and then that turns to just solid ice.
Right.
And then it's going to snow 1 to 3 inches on top of that. So that's exciting.
So the average snowfall in the Dallas metro is around 4 inches right now. And like you said 1 to 3. I saw 2 to 6. I was just thinking you take Sunday night, double it, and then throw in a 1/10 of an inch of ice as well. Oh, this is going to be awesome.
I'd say we have about 4 inches of snow in our backyard. Probably about 4 inches. And I've said this before, that our waterfall on our pool comes on automatically when it gets really cold, so it doesn't freeze the pipes. Yeah, so it's been running for 4 straight days. 4 straight days. And so a huge block of ice has formed at the bottom of the slide that we have into the pool. And it's starting to form on the sides of the waterfall, so that when it gets really windy and cold again, probably by, I don't know, maybe later this morning or certainly by tonight, I'm thinking the whole thing's going to be frozen. And
so it just can't keep up, huh?
It can't keep up. No, it just can't.
So,
even with the moving water, and about half, well, maybe not quite half, about a third of the pool is frozen on top. Yeah, it's amazing.
You're going to go ice skating?
You could on parts of it. You could.
It sounds like the slide into the ice block is probably not your best option.
No, and the temperature of the pool water is 33 right now. So once you get to the bottom of the slide and get into the water, it's going to be quite a surprise, like a heart attack surprise.
Is Mr. Twitter going to tweet out some pictures later? That would be fun.
I should probably do that. I will do that. Yeah, cool. I will do that.
I mean, I can't come over there and do it for you. Obviously, there are no roads, and even if there were roads, they'd be covered with ice and snow, so it's kind of a moot point.
Right, and you can't drive. And
I can't even drive yet. I was supposed to have a doctor's appointment today.
Oh, has it been canceled?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to diagnose myself. I'm ready to go.
Are you? Yeah. Are you feeling better? Because you were not doing well earlier.
I wasn't doing well. Week. Then I was doing great. And I wasn't doing so well again. There's so much going on with my leg right now. I'm hoping for the best, but there's a lot happening.
Really?
Yep.
Like, do you have complications from it, or?
I would say that the actual labrum situation is probably coming along okay. I missed my PT that was canceled yesterday because that's been very helpful. Very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really concerned about the reason we went in.
Yeah.
I really think that's coming along great. It's the how do I say this without being too graphic? It's the entry points that they made that are really becoming an issue for me as far as
like, are they infected?
Yeah.
Oh,
infections
wow.
and
Oh, that's not good.
It's pretty aggravating, and
I bet. Yeah.
I'm not taking pain meds for the labrum so much anymore. I'm taking them for that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's not good. So, do you have antibiotics?
Sure. Yes, I do. Yeah.
That's good.
And
all right,
lots of good stuff. But yeah, but I do believe that the reason they went in is coming along nicely. Yes, sir.
That's good to hear. All right, 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. If you want to share how things are going wherever it is that you live. Just a reminder from Tim Blair back in the year 2000. He said, snow is starting to disappear from our lives. This is a political commentator and blogger. Snow is starting to disappear from our lives. Sledges, snowmen, snowballs, and the excitement of waking up to find that the stuff is settled outside are all a rapidly diminishing part of Britain's culture. As warmer winters, which scientists are attributing to global climate change, produce not only fewer white Christmases, but fewer white Januaries and Februaries, global warming, the heating of the atmosphere by increased amounts of industrial gas, is now accepted as a reality by the international community. According to Dr. David Viner, a senior research scientist at the Climate Research Unit of the University of East Anglia, within a few years, winter snowfall will become a very rare and exciting event. Children just aren't going to know what snow is, he said. Just a little reminder there for you that I don't know what it is you're seeing outside your window right now, but apparently it's not snow.
Wow.
We're 21 years down the road. It can't still be falling when it was disappearing from our lives back then. Can it?
They can't get the forecast right 2 hours from now, Pat. They said the snow was done Sunday night, and it developed right over us for another 5 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, they have no idea, but yet
we're supposed to believe these forecasts.
Years from now, sure.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It seriously is unbelievable. Speaking of Brits, they may have to show vaccine passports soon to go to restaurants. Love this story. If you want to go to a pub or a restaurant, they're suggesting that you might have to have a vaccine passport for admission. Proposals to introduce documents to let immunized Brits lead a normal life are under consideration. They've been looking at plans for vaccine passports to families to go on foreign holidays again, too. But this is the first time a cabinet minister has broken cover to say that businesses in the UK could use them to let in bar patrons. It's something that hasn't been ruled out and is something under consideration. But of course, you have to make it workable. The thing, when I have looked at this, whether it's on the international, domestic, or local level, you have to be confident the document being presented is something you can rely on. So that, I guess the only thing that's holding them back is whether or not they have a document that you can trust that, okay, they did get a vaccine, so let them in. That it is an accurate reflection of the status of the individual. I'm not sure there's a foolproof answer in the way it is sometimes presented, but we'll look at all the options. And you know that they'll do the same thing here. With the administration we have now, if you think they won't use restaurant passports or a passport to show that you've had a vaccination to get into a bar, you're crazy, because they will do it. They'll absolutely do it. they're talking about the passports for domestic travel. So why wouldn't they do the same thing with restaurants or clubs or bars or movie theaters or wherever you're going to go that you're with a bunch of people?
State to state.
Yep.
So you better find a state that you're comfortable staying in for a while because your world's about to get very small. Sorry. I mean, seriously, I tell my kids all the time.
Yeah.
Your options are going to become more and more limited. These people that say we haven't lost freedom. Okay.
I think.
Haven't we?
Yeah, I think
we
that's
could go
pretty
on.
clear now.
Do we want to start a Twitter free speech, or do we want to wrap it around to masks and now vaccines? This quote from the story, I don't think I heard you read this quote, but at the press conference, Boris Johnson about these passports, he said, "When we're in that different world, which I hope will be as soon as possible, then all kinds of apps and all kinds of possibilities will be open to us."
Oh, when we've got the vaccine passports, that's when we'll have all kinds of things open to us. Oh, okay, thank you.
Just wait for that. Oh, here's something that scared me, Pat. Here's something that scared me. I don't know if it was during the Super Bowl or when I saw this ad, but there was a don't prick your finger for the diabetes test.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen that ad a bunch of times.
So on the phone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, there's your gateway to everything. Everything inside your body is going to show up on your phone, and they're going to it's the people who suffer from diabetes are, for lack of a better phrase, going to be the guinea pigs for this vaccination program. And, well, we need to see what your heart is up to. And don't forget, the 4-year hiatus of reporting on your taxes that you have health care, well, that's over now with Biden in there. It's going to get more and more intrusive. So roll up your sleeves for the vaccine fun.
Yeah, you know, that diabetes thing, what is it called? It's... I don't know. I've seen the commercial a million times too, and now I can't remember. Yeah. Free something or other. Free, I don't know. Anyway, you don't have to poke your finger. It's some sort of device that they put on your arm, and it's kind of bulky. I mean, it looks pretty big.
Good time.
But anyway, you put your phone up to it, and it tells you your blood sugar level. So, yeah, how hard would it be for it to also measure whether or not you've had the vaccination?
Absolutely. Everything about you is going to be accessible on that. It's coming. I mean, this is how they're going to do this. So, like I said...
well, it's for your own safety.
Find a place.
It's for your own safety, Keith.
You're really comfortable with. Normally, I would say if you like heat, move to Texas. But apparently, if you like below zero temps, move to Texas. So, yeah, I'm at -4 this morning, by the way. I don't know what you got down to.
4 below? Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, of course, I live way out.
Yeah, you're almost to Oklahoma, but
New Mexico.
In New Mexico, yeah. All right.
But yeah, so I'm terrified about these passports. And by the way, did you hear the stories from just a few days ago? We've got the California woman died. She was 78. She got the vaccination, and they said that if you're going to have a reaction, it's going to happen in the first 15 minutes. She died 25 minutes later. So they're like, nah, had nothing to do with that. Right?
Because it was 10 minutes after their deadline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she cleared the window.
Man. So she died of something completely different.
Right. That was just a coincidence.
Yeah, I don't know. She just got cancer really quick, and it was a fast-moving cancer.
And here's I'm sorry, that was the guy that did that. The guy made it past the 15-minute window. Because, see, I got 2 stories of allergic reactions, people dying within just minutes of receiving the vaccine that happened within just days of each other here in the U.S.
Yeah, but 14 million people have gotten full vaccination, Keith, and only 2 have died?
Yeah, just the 2.
Just the 2 you just mentioned.
We have here.
Right,
yes.
Yeah. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Got some tweets here. Proud Mr. Graybeard tweets, it's 20 degrees warmer in Denver than in Fort Worth. Stay safe, guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Trying. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Not a Foxer tweets 9 below here in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and our power just went out. Stay safe there in Oklahoma.
Gosh, yes.
American Pride. I wonder if the Green New Deal people will rethink getting rid of fossil fuels so people in the north don't freeze to death. 17 below with a wind chill of 23 to 35 below this morning. Jeez. No, they won't. They won't rethink it. I guarantee you that.
Get out while you can.
Yeah. Carl Smith tweets, now that Donald Trump has been acquitted for the second time, will Democrats move to have him removed from President's Day? Possibly. Jeremiah was a bullfrog tweets, it's 32 degrees here in Pittsburgh. They hyped up a winter storm warning all day yesterday. 6 to 8 inches of snow. Nothing. And they're going to tell us what it'll be like 30 years from now? Yeah, or 50 or 100. Yeah. Not likely. DMXDM tweets, Texas is finally getting punished for Beto. Oh, is it that could be. Could be.
Yeah.
And bovine scatology, rolling blackouts in Texas. Guess the only thing open is the border.
Nice.
It definitely is. It's also 17 above on the mean streets of Helena, Montana. Wow. 17 above.
Are you
It's 3 here in Irving, and you got 4 below there?
Yeah.
Where you are? Jeez.
Yeah, I'm just checking the... I'm just looking at the map there. I mean, we're in the negative 30s. Not wind chill, negative 30s all over Minnesota.
Yeah.
Please stay in, stay safe.
Yeah, hopefully you don't have to go anywhere today. Of course, in the north, they don't close things. Like I remember in Montana going to school when it was below zero. They always kept schools open because that's what we do. We're used to it. So it just happens every year. So you can't close schools all the time every winter.
Right. So I'm genuinely fascinated about this. So I'm not being smart. Take us through like a typical Pat Gray morning growing up in Helena. I know one time, maybe it was off air, I can't remember, which fascinated me when you talked about how you would plug in the electric warmer to keep your cars warm in the garage.
Yeah.
So tell us about just a typical Montana morning going to school as a kid.
Well, I got up really early because I also went to seminary.
And you had a radio show to do.
And I had starting when I was junior, I did, although not in the morning, but
sure,
overnight on the weekends. But anyway, I'd get up, and when I was in grade school, I only lived 3 blocks away from the elementary school, so I just walked, and I remember walking uphill both directions in 17 feet of snow. And I liked it. There was broken glass, and I was just in bare feet. And by the time I got to school, my feet were torn to shreds. No, but I remember walking in 2.5, 3 feet of snowdrifts for sure to school. And it'd be, massively cold to where it freezes the nose hair when you breathe.
Oh, yeah.
And you can feel that going all the way up inside of you. And it gets to your lungs and burns. I mean, when it's 30 below, it's nasty cold. And you can't stay out there very long. But it didn't take very long to get to school. Then I usually got a ride from my parents to the junior high. And then I, starting as a sophomore or so, drove myself to high school because that was, 2 or 3 miles.
I was gonna say it wasn't 3 blocks at that point.
No, not in high school.
I was gonna say, like, you dig the car out of the snow, the driveway gets clear. You're like, all right, and you just go 3 blocks. Okay, now I get it.
But you had to plug your car in. And people with garages. We didn't have a garage when I was growing up. It was like a carport, so it was covered, but it was still too cold. I mean, when it got below zero, the block would freeze. And so you had to plug the engine into an outlet so that it would heat it up overnight when it got below zero. Otherwise, the block freezes and you just don't have your car until, the temperature gets above 32. Yeah, until May.
So hold on, when you plug it in, so in other words, and these are honest questions. Like when you go to buy a new car in like the Helena dealer, do you have to pay extra to get the heating element? Is this a separate kit or whatever that you buy later and put in there? How is it heated?
No, usually because
coils.
When I think when you buy them in Helena, they already come that way because everybody knows that you're going to need that, and so when they send them to Helena, that's they install that stuff.
I gotcha.
I don't know if they still do that or if there's a different method now to do that.
Should come with the car, man. They shouldn't charge you extra for the engine warmer. I will say, you talk about being out in the cold. I can't remember what the temperature was. It was well below zero. But around one night, I was walking down the mean streets of Scottsbluff, Nebraska, and I remember I spit. It's a little gross because that's how I roll. And about 20 seconds later, it was no more than 30 seconds, but about 20 seconds later, I looked down and I had not cleared my jacket. And it had frozen right there in place. Pretty freaking gross.
Yep.
So there you go.
You know, some people were stupid enough to try the tongue test where you stick your tongue to the pole.
Yeah.
It really is a thing. You don't want to do
it
that.
is.
You don't want to do that because your tongue will stick and freeze to the pole. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. The Ralphie thing, it's an actual thing. So hopefully you won't try that. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We were talking about the vaccine a few minutes ago. This is kind of interesting. In Iran, they have discovered something pretty fascinating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Apparently, the vaccine is making people gay.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So who made that version of the vaccine? That sounds iffy.
They're not really saying who made that version of the vaccine, but I think,
goodness.
I mean, that should probably be something that they mention before you take it. There's a good chance you could become gay. Now, if you don't mind, go ahead and get the vaccine. But
there's 700 side effects. But they say I'm so fast. I didn't hear the part may become gay. So could you repeat those slowly? Is that what we're doing here?
It's the Ayatollah. What's this guy's name?
Oh, Abbas Tabrizian. You know him.
Oh, of course. I mean who doesn't?
Got a huge.
Who doesn't?
He actually, I don't know. He's got a podcast, which I'm sure is so good.
The Ayatollah Tabrizian has a podcast. Nice.
Let's see. On Telegram, you know that messaging app?
Oh, sure.
210,000 followers. Listen to the
amazing
Tabrizian rant hour or whatever it is.
But he is warning Iranians to stay away from people who've been vaccinated. Because I guess they can pass their gayness on to you. That's interesting.
And that's punishable by death in Iran.
But if you're gay, yes.
Right. But
yes.
Joe Biden going to reestablish connections with them. So we got rid of that hateful Donald Trump.
Fortunately, finally.
Put Iran in its place and got us out of that horrible deal.
Right.
And now we've got the supposedly pro-gay Biden administration, a continuation of the Obama administration, is going to give them everything they want, even though they absolutely are horrific with human rights in that country, as we well know.
Yeah.
So this would be a good issue for the gay community, and glad to stand up to the Biden administration.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Jeez, amazing. He did say, here's his quote. Don't go near those who have had the COVID vaccine. They have become homosexuals.
Oh, no. What?
That's great.
Okay. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. If
right.
Become gay from
except
the
in
vaccine.
Iran, because it's a punishable offense, punishable by death.
The issue here.
Yeah.
It's not that you could become gay. It's that you could become gay within the borders of Iran.
Prominent LGBTQIA2 plus campaigner Peter Tatchell said the claims were, quote, demonizing, unquote, both the vaccine and of the gay community. So I think he's probably right about that. Ayatollah Tabrizian, though, combined scientific ignorance with a crude appeal to homophobia. Iranian dissident Shana Vujudi said, like other clerics in the regime, also Tabrizian relates all the shortages to sexuality. The clerics in Iran are suffering from a lack of knowledge and humanity. No. Really? Huh.
So the lack of everything is from being
some sort of
homosexuals there, not because of any kind of sanctions.
Right. Yeah, right. Actually, his goal of spreading nonsense is to try to scare people out of getting vaccinated, while the leader of the regime and other officials got Pfizer, and they don't provide it for the people who, with the excuse that they don't trust the West. That makes a lot of sense. So because they're so inept and they're not providing the vaccine for their people, they're just trying to scare the crap out of the people by telling them that they'll become homosexuals if they take the vaccine. Unbelievable.
Have you seen? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It's thought that thousands of gays have been executed in the country since the Islamic Revolution in 1979. In 2019, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif told German broadcaster Deutsche Welle, "Our society has moral principles, and we live according to these principles. These are moral principles concerning the behavior of people in general, and that means that the law is respected and the law is obeyed, and that they throw homosexuals off of the tops of buildings." And so,
can you believe these radical freaks that took over the United States Embassy almost 42 years ago are still in charge of a country?
No, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It sure is. Hey, on that vaccine, speaking of crazy, I don't know. Have you seen, do we have the picture of that bumper sticker, that, the window sticker that's making the rounds? I got my Fauci Ouchie, and it shows a syringe. So they're calling it, did you get your Fauci Ouchie? Did you get your vaccine?
In other words, that is ridiculous.
That's where we're at. It's fun.
Get out of here. I mean, that's embarrassing.
Yeah,
come on.
If we have the photo, it's as terrible as it looks or as it sounds.
I guess we don't have it, but that is embarrassing. Jeez.
Yeah, and it's got little hearts coming out of the syringe, and it's got a little heart for the A's in it and stuff. So it says, "I got my Fauci Ouchie," and it's very flowery, and then you get the little hearts coming out of the syringe, which might actually lend credence to that Iranian cleric guy's assessment.
That you become gay if you get the vaccine.
I guess. I mean, it's very lovey-dovey look to it there.
Well, you never know. You never know. Also, Kamala Harris is saying that they're starting from scratch on the vaccine. Apparently, they were left with like zero supply of vaccine by the Trump administration, supposedly. Let's see. I'm looking for what. Yeah, here's what she had to say.
There's no stockpile.
No stockpile.
Right? It's in many ways
no stockpile
of vaccines. Right?
All right.
So we're looking at this. Right. There was no national strategy or plan for vaccinations. We were leaving it to the states and local leaders to try and figure it out. And so in many ways we're starting from scratch on something that's been raging for almost an entire year. And that's
scratch.
And so are you having to adjust your sights now of what's possible given that?
And to challenge that everything is possible, we've got to figure out a way. That has to be our standard.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, they left them zero supply of vaccine when he left. I guess he took it all with him to Florida. I don't know. Well, here's what Fauci said about his ouchie. He actually said, "We certainly are not starting from scratch because there is activity going on in the distribution." And he said that back on January 21st. Fauci was responding to a report from CNN reporting unnamed Biden administration officials claiming the Trump administration did not have a plan to distribute vaccine across the country, but they did. So maybe they should get their story straight in the Biden administration. You've got Kamala saying they're starting from scratch, and Fauci saying absolutely not. And he's got a little bit of a vested interest in this since he was, he was Trump's guy too. He was Trump's guy with this whole vaccine, and now he's Biden's guy with the virus and the vaccine. So
I like any kind of dissent between Fauci and this administration. It's kind of fun.
I do too.
Get some popcorn and
enjoy that a lot, actually. But it would be nice if they could get their story straight, so Americans would, could understand that the distribution was about 1 million a day when they took office. And by the way, that was their goal, 1 million a day. Wow, what an incredible goal when we're already doing it.
And look at the states where there's distribution problems. It's not Florida, a very red state. They have got their act together on not only the vaccination, but on the cases. And they're not all running around with masks on either. So maybe the federal government should look to Florida and red states that are distributing it well.
And it should be the states and the localities that are distributing the vaccine.
Yeah, that's lost on this whole thing. Yes.
Right. They should be the localities doing this. Just absolutely unbelievable. Start to finish. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Tweets from Caffeinated Texan. In the last 30 hours, our power has actually been on for about an hour and 15 minutes. Cold is bad, but the inability to make a cup of coffee is killing me. It's also, I realized yesterday, all the stuff you take for granted, like you walk into a room, you just expect the lights to come on, and they don't. It's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Electricity. Huh. Weird. And then you try to get out of your garage and drive to the store, or like yesterday, I did like a test drive to the studio to make sure that we wouldn't be killed if we tried to come here. And I hit the garage door opener, and nothing happened. I'm like, oh, that's weird. The garage door runs on electricity. Huh, that's weird. I mean, all day long, it's one thing after another that I guess I'll just watch TV for a while. Huh, TV runs on electricity. That's really weird. Can't watch that. Oh, okay, then I'll just watch it. I'll watch we'll watch something on the internet. Yeah, the internet is supplied by electricity. So,
Did you get a good glass of water and just chill?
No, because the water plant, is not being manned right now or something. And they've abandoned it. And so you got to boil your water. Well, in order to boil the water, I need electricity or natural gas.
Right.
Unfortunately, I can't boil the water.
And if you're freezing, which so many are, there were some reports, some Pat heads, their homes were in the 30s inside their homes.
Oh my gosh.
Yesterday. A nightmare. Absolutely. Then hopefully you can go out to your vehicle and run it. But again, that runs on gasoline.
Right.
That hopefully. So, and it occurred to me yesterday, we filled up our cars, and I thought, I guess if we get stranded somewhere, we will want fuel. You should fill up your cars before a snowstorm hits, just because it may be your source of warmth. I had never thought of that there in the driveway,
Yeah.
But you and I both experienced something else. I'm telling you, yesterday, Texas was a Sim City game gone bad. You and I both had to switch our cell phones over to the Wi-Fi and call through our house internet.
Yeah, because cell service was down as well.
All afternoon.
I mean, you're supposed to have cell service. That's one of the advantages when you lose electricity. Okay, well, I'll just Use my cell phone.
Uh-huh.
Nope. No,
Now,
you won't. Cell's down too.
And
we have no estimate on when it will be restored. That was what I was told.
Remember, I had a landline until just a couple of months ago. And boy, I was...
Yeah? Did we lose him? No, Keith got attacked by a rolling blackout, I bet. That we just lost him, didn't we? Yeah, it's great. As we're talking about all the night.
Here?
There you are.
Okay.
So it wasn't a rolling blackout. Okay, good.
Well, there's probably something really dumb by me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was just saying, when the youngest got a cell phone, we said, we don't need a landline. So now we're in the same boat as everybody else.
Right. So. Well, yeah. I asked my wife. I mean, I know we were bundled or whatever. So we kept the landline for a really long time, even though we never used it. In fact, we unplugged it. And I guess she finally threw the actual landline phone away because we don't use it. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll plug it back in. I'll plug the phones back in and just call Keith that way. Nope. No, that phone's been thrown away. Oh, okay, good. Well, that's great. Yeah, so it was quite a day.
So if you still do have the landline,
yeah,
over there at my desk in the studio, take a look. I mean, there's a bunch of crap over there and clothing and stuff like that. Once you lift up the Falcons helmet and all that other stuff, there should be a phone over there. If you would like to take that home and
to plug it in
your house, yes.
So we could do things the old-fashioned way on a landline. Yeah. All right. From Re-Educate This. When I said to my dad in Texas, I'll send some of it your way, I didn't know I actually could. I'm sorry, Texas. I'll use my powers for good next time, I swear. Yes, please. From Who Among Us. I'm sick of them putting chemicals in the vaccines, turning the friggin' people gay. Yeah, me too. Me too. From Amy What's-Her-Face. You know who was the first to get their Fauci ouchie? The American economy. That's for sure. Yeah. And from Nita, the hippie patriot. Fauci's ouchie? Oh my gosh, we're so stupid. Oh, and by the way, am I the only one when I hear Kamala's voice, I want to punch the wall? LOL. No, you're not the only one. No, I mean, she has a nauseating voice.
The voice is very. It's
going to be
tough to take.
Tough for years.
There's another one that is worse. I don't know if you want to play it, but there's some crazy leftist chick, and she wrote a song as an ode to Jen Psaki.
Yeah,
have you seen that?
This is amazing. Here she is.
Ugh.
Our government's now full of folks who are extraordinary. But I'm especially impressed by the new press secretary. She's gained a reputation for her brain in every session.
Really?
As well as for the way she likes to use one pet expression. Circle back, Jen Psaki, circle back. That's your way of saying to the media pack, if a fact's in doubt, you'll go find things out and give more details when you circle back. You're no hack, Jen Psaki, you're no hack.
It's embarrassing.
Even when right-wingers go on the attack, you put them in their place with a smiling face. And with style and grace, that's how Jen Psaki circles back. You're a bright, refreshing sight to see. And we love your chunky.
How do you put this on the internet and say, yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's awesome. How do you do that? Seriously, I hit delete and it's over. Okay.
I don't even start there.
I do this and then I listen to it back and I think, no.
Right. Or you get 3 words into it and you realize, oh, that's right, I can't sing.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever done, for one thing.
I can't wait to see how you patiently don't let
okay, I can't take it anymore. Please stop. Please stop by all that is holy. Thank you.
That is...
Ooh, really bad. really bad.
Are you awake now?
Almost. All right, let me take a minute and tell you about Omega XL. If you're in pain, and it's pain brought on by inflammation, there is something that could help you out a lot. Something you'll absolutely love because it's not a drug. It's not going to be something that gets you hooked on or dependent upon. It just has an all-natural off switch to inflammation. So when the inflammation goes away, so does your pain. It's called Omega XL. It's backed by 35 years of clinical research, and it attacks the inflammation that causes your pain, which it did to my pain in my elbow that ran down the remainder of my arm, and I could barely lift anything. So after about a week, I started to feel better. After 2 weeks, the pain was just completely gone. To get you started, when you order one Omega XL bottle now, you'll get a second for free. Visit omegaxl.com/Pat. That's omegaxl.com/Pat. Or call 800-844-4888. Or go to omegaxl.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
I think you're going to love this story as well. Illegal aliens who fall while climbing the border wall and hurt themselves have been sent back to Mexico by the Border Patrol. And here's the spin from the story. To escape the lingering, devastating effects of 2 hurricanes and the reach of organized crime, Pedro Gomez fled Guatemala in January and headed north looking for hope. There's no mention that, oh, by the way, he's doing this illegally. He's not supposed to be doing this. It's against the law that he do this in the United States of America. Okay? If you want to immigrate to the United States, there's a way to do it, and this isn't it. This is not it. Whether you've had 2 devastating hurricanes and organized crime or not. Because frankly, we don't know what your situation is when you get here. You could be lying about all of that. You could have had an okay life in Mexico or Guatemala, and you just want a better one here. Or you think it's going to be better here. Thousands of miles south, John Jarrow Ushka Alcocer, too, left his country, Ecuador, fleeing political unrest and the economic fallout of a global pandemic that's ravaged his nation. Oh, okay, good. So he's coming from a pandemic-ravaged nation, and he, too, is going to sneak across the border, and we're supposed to be okay with that. I can't take it. For both men, it seemed as if nothing would stand in the way of their cherished dream. Certainly not deserts, rivers, unscrupulous smugglers, or the infamous wall they had heard so much about. Now, see, these things should have stood in their way. And they should have applied to come here legally. But then that same wall nearly crippled them. And they say the Migra, the U.S. Border Patrol, then dumped us in Mexico like garbage, a piece of trash, said Pedro Gomez, 37. They say agents who discovered them injured sent them back across the border rather than providing them medical care on American soil. This is... So we're expected, when they fall trying to break our laws and hurt themselves, then it's our responsibility now to make sure that they go and get the kind of medical treatment they need and desire. And we take care of them. And we take care of them for free because obviously they're not going to be able to pay for it. That's why they're coming here, right? They don't have any money. So we take them, we provide them free medical care, and then I guess we send them deeper into the country to find a job. I mean, this is unbelievable. But Alcocer said, who's 25, when I fell off the wall, my dream crashed too. Wow. Okay, so he shared his story from a bunk bed a few feet away from Gomez inside a migrant shelter in this desolate border town across from Columbus, New Mexico. So he's in Mexico. He said his complaints to agents of his pain fell on deaf ears. I mean, it is our responsibility then, as they're breaking our laws, to fix it for him.
Yeah, he said they fell on deaf ears.
Yeah.
They fell on the other side of the wall. That's what it sounded like.
I mean, this is amazing. The men's and the whole tenor of the article is all about their plight and how we're supposed to be okay with them snaking across the border and climbing the border wall and then falling, which we've told them not to do, and they did it anyway. And now it's our responsibility to take care of them.
Which idiot rag publication is this that you're quoting? Do you know? I will say that this is. I'm gonna play Jeffy's role. So you're saying that if you fall on your neighbor's property and you hurt yourself, their insurance shouldn't take care of it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, I'm saying your insurance should. If you crawled over my wall and you fell, I don't have a wall, but a fence. Like I got a fence on part of the property. If you fall off of my fence and break your leg, your insurance should take care of that, not mine. I'm sorry. What are you doing crawling over my wall?
That's right.
Or my fence?
So wait a second. You had a tree from your neighbor's yard
that crashed into my fence.
Right. It tried to immigrate illegally into your yard.
Right.
Who paid for it?
My neighbor.
There you go.
Yep. And they didn't even try to say, "Hey, that's your fence. Where I pay for it." Yeah, it's your tree that fell on it. I didn't even have to do any of that. They just took care. I mean, it was really, they were great about it. But as we can see, that's not always the case with our neighbors. And our neighbors to the south just think that we must fix everything for them. Everything. It's amazing. This is, the article continues. The men's perilous journey underscores the rising desperation among immigrants. See, no mention ever of this being illegal or the fact that they expect everything of us and nothing of them. There's no personal responsibility here whatsoever. None. In trying to cross into the United States, immigrants' rights advocates say, and raises concerns about the protocols used by the Border Patrol to treat injured migrants and the overall effectiveness of the border wall. I mean, come on! This is really unbelievable. Pastor Rosalia Sosa, who runs the Some Migrants Network that I can't read, a network of migrant shelters in Palomas in the Mexican state of Chihuahua. On Tuesday, consoles Pedro Gomez, a migrant from Guatemala who has 2 broken ankles he says he got when he fell off the border wall. After being asked about the men's cases and how the Border Patrol handles injured migrants, the agency released a statement attributed to El Paso Sector Border Patrol Chief Gloria Chavez that read in part, "We routinely encounter injured people on the border, most of which are individuals that have entered the country illegally. When it's apparent that someone is hurt, we will administer first aid and request assistance as needed." And then send them back on their way across the border is apparently the implication there. The statement said that the response may include a Border Patrol agent trained and certified as an EMT, or possibly an ambulance service depending on the severity and complexity of the injury. And if necessary, an agent accompanying and monitoring the progress at the medical facility until they're cleared and released for processing. It's not clear why these injured immigrants were deported to Mexico, even after they both told agents they couldn't walk. Maybe because they were sneaking across our border illegally. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know. But a broken ankle, I'm sorry. You'll be okay. We're taking you back to Mexico. They can deal with a broken ankle. Right?
Maybe.
I mean, come on.
It's Mexico. Let's be honest.
Just come on. Even if they can't, it is not our fault. We didn't do this.
Correct.
Really amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right. If you're trying to sell your home, you know what a challenge that can be. That's why you need a real estate agent who's going to come in and take charge of the situation and help you decide what to do with your home in order for it to sell quickly and for the most amount of money. Do you need to paint it? Do you need to replace countertops or flooring or update certain things in your home? Real estate agents I trust are the agents with the experience and the track records and the marketing plan that you need to see you through this process. Same goes for buying a home. Whether you're buying or selling, real estate agents I trust will see you through the whole process. Real Estate Agents I Trust, the name says it all. Go to realestateagentsitrust.com. That's realestateagentsitrust.com. May I just say, if you don't want to be injured falling off the border wall, don't climb it.
Wait.
Just a little safety tip there for you.
I should write this down.
Yeah, write it down because it's kind of complex.
And write it down in Spanish.
Man, is that a tough concept? If you don't want to fall off the border wall and hurt yourself and then be taken back to Mexico, then don't climb the border wall. That's why it's there, so that you'll get there and realize, there's a border wall there, and I'm not supposed to climb it. The wall means don't come in.
Come on, man.
It's not that tough. It's really not. All right, we got some tweets here. I juice for monkeys. Tweets. It's great that everyone's been tweeting the weather where they are, but it would be nice to get it from a credible source like Flap Jackson every 13 minutes on the sixes. Yes, it would. Comrade Snoopage. So Kamala's not happy that the vaccine distribution was left to the states. Sounds like she wants federal control on who gets it and when they get the vaccine. That sounds like a dictator. From Paul Tertellis, landlines don't work the way they used to. It's all digital voice and carried through internet providers now. Old phone lines don't carry their own power anymore.
Okay, that's true. But way out where I live, we had an old school phone line.
Yeah.
And I gave it up, Pat.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. We gave ours up too, so should not have done that. Patriot Princess Steve, you're talking about a nation that awards lawsuits to criminals or their families who were injured or killed while violating the law. Of course, illegal immigrants are going to think that they're entitled as well. And Crystal from Apocalypse USA, that song had a "There's a hole in the sky where a tree once stood" vibe. Perhaps those women are kin. Possibly. That would not surprise me.
Well, they got the same kind of brain cells.
All right. Got to tell you about ExpressVPN. This is a fantastic service. If you don't want to be tracked, if you don't want all of the ads pouring onto your system, this is a great way to go. ExpressVPN. Every device, whether you're on the phone, a laptop, or TV, has a unique string of numbers called an IP address. And when you search for stuff, when you watch videos or even click a link, big tech companies then use that IP to track all your activity and then tie it back to you and then try to sell you stuff with it. It's so aggravating. ExpressVPN hides your IP address. Fantastic. It pings it all over the place so they can't track you. Stop handing over your data to big tech. ExpressVPN.com/unleashed. ExpressVPN.com/unleashed to get 3 extra months free. ExpressVPN.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray.
Welcome. 888-900 Pat3393, also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Did I mention that in addition to rolling blackouts and a frozen pool, I also have no hot water at my house?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's great. It's great. The pipes are freezing, and the water heater went out a couple of years ago. I don't know. It's been a while because I was in New York at the time, and our water heater went out, and the person who came out to the house sold my wife on this waterless heater thing.
Tankless, yeah.
Yeah, the tankless water. Yeah, it's not water. Well, I guess it is kind of waterless, but it's tankless.
Okay.
But this tankless heater, in addition to being ridiculously expensive, also takes a long time to heat up anything downstairs. And when it gets cold, it freezes every single time. Why? Because it has some sort of feature where they had to put this little pipe that goes outside of our house. So it's just this little tiny little pipe that comes out, and it just drips all the time. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is.
See, mine does that.
Yeah, water just drips out of it, and then the water freezes when it gets cold, and we don't have any hot water. So
okay,
that's where we are. So I had to shower here at the studio when I got home, which was
nice.
Which was pleasant because in my dressing room it's 58 degrees.
No.
Yeah, so it was very pleasant.
So I'm just curious,
because
I have 2 tanks, but they're technically outside.
Okay.
Like they're in a closet which is stupid that there's a light bulb in there, but not a power plug that I could have plugged the heater in.
Oh.
But they're wrapped in insulation. Do you have the ability to warm up your tank? I just can't visualize.
There is no tank. There's no tank. Yeah.
So there's nothing to keep warm.
There's nothing to keep warm. We try to keep that. We try to keep that pipe warm, but it's really hard when it's 1 degree outside.
Or below.
Or below. Yeah. So it's happened to us multiple times, and I really hate it. I really hate the. But again, the good part was it was stupid expensive. Probably double what a water heater would have been. So yeah.
Well, hey, if it makes you feel any better, don't buy special allergen HVAC units that cost you an arm and a leg, because guess what? All that crap still gets to you. Okay.
Oh.
So,
okay. Well, good.
But at 3 times the cost, you're still dealing with allergies and pollen. But last night we had in one room of the house, the pipes were apparently frozen, but we were able to heat up the area immediately around those pipes. I now realize, after living in this house for 9 years, it took this kind of cold snap to realize that, that bathroom's pipes are running through the attic where there's no heat. So if you said that your pipes are frozen or at that point, Pat, you got to start running water through them before they expand the pipes and explode.
Yeah.
Open up those faucets, man.
And
then heat the area where the pipes are. I don't know, like, are you talking about your entire house? There's no water, or just no hot water?
No, there's water. There's cold water. So you could shower in cold water frigid cold water if you wanted to right now. But
I'm no plumber, but it sounds like your hot water, the pipe that goes, it needs to be warmed up before the pipes explode.
Yes, probably. Yes.
So I know what you're doing today.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
I mean, that's all we can do. When the thing freezes, we take a little heater out there, a little space heater.
Yeah.
And we run an extension cord around to the little pipe, and we point the little heater at the pipe.
You can do it
until it melts the ice inside the pipe, and it works for a while, and then it gets cold again, and then it freezes again, and then we don't have hot
Isn't
water
that
again.
Great? You spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on something, and it takes.
Oh, and we lost him again. Is that a rolling blackout situation, or did he do something? He maybe unplugged the cord.
I don't know.
Oh, whatever. There you are. You there? You got there, Keith? Hello?
This is fun, right?
Yeah, it's great fun. Yeah, it's really, really fun.
If you only saw the duct tape and chewing gum in my MacGyver setup here, you would know that it is the one thing that's happening that isn't the fault of the power company.
Okay. So it's your fault because you put this thing together, or is it somebody else's fault here?
Let's blame ERCOT.
Okay.
That's the people supplying the electricity. We're going to blame them.
All right. Yeah, I noticed that they're talking ERCOT a lot, which I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
And I can hear me coming back to me now. Why is that? There we go. Now I can't, but I can't hear Keith either. So, all right, we got some tweets here from Wesley D's perfect presentation of imperfection. You need to remember the progressives want universal health care, not national health care, so that it covers people from other nations. Oh, yeah, when they fall off our border wall. That's right. From Pew Pew One Pew. So now all they have to do is pretend to fall at the border, and they'll be admitted and taken care of on our dime. Mexico has it good, man. Or Guatemala, or wherever they're coming from, yes. Rowdy Introvert, sounds like Pat is trying to push for climb it. Like climb the wall, climb it change. Get it? And from Tampa, Ken, cold front came through. It's 70. Brr, cold. All right, Ken. That's enough out of you. We don't need to hear that. When it is, 1 degree now, right? Here in Dallas, in the Dallas area. 70 in Tampa? How is it possible that they haven't gotten this in Florida? Unbelievable. Not that I'm wishing that on you. Although kind of right now I am because of Ken's tweet. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Got some great news to share about our friends at Patriot Mobile. They just expanded their coverage dramatically, which will make it easier for even more Americans to drop the big name carriers who charge way too much and then donate money to leftists. That's why I'm really proud to partner with Patriot Mobile, because they never sent a penny to the left. They never will, and they'll never try to silence you. They're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Plus, you can switch with confidence because they use the same network as the larger providers, but they charge much less. Switching is easy, too. You can keep your phone number, you can keep your phone, or you can get new ones of both. Whatever you want to do. And build your own bundle with multi-line discounts and save even more. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Pat or call their U.S.-based customer service team at 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. Veterans and first responders save even more. This month, get free Premier activation where they set up the phone for you, and you'll get a special gift when you use the offer code PAT. patriotmobile.com/Pat, patriotmobile.com/Pat, or 972-PATRIOT.
It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
The Mars rover about to land. The UAE had their rocket, I guess, enter orbit. And then China had theirs enter orbit, and now ours has arrived, and it's going to land. I'm not sure if this is the only one landing, or is China's landing too. I know the UAE's not trying to land; they're just going to orbit. But the rover, car-sized rover, launched in July of 2020, and it's already covered more than 288 million miles. Flying at 60 times the speed of sound. So that's fairly fast then. Perseverance arrives at Mars this week, just days after the UAE's probe and China's probe entered the planet's orbit. Then the Mars rover is scheduled to land on Mars on Thursday, day after tomorrow. It'll dive into the paper-thin atmosphere at more than 12,000 miles an hour before a parachute and engine burn slow it down to about 2 miles per hour. Wow. A large sky crane will then winch Perseverance to the ground, and the descent platform will then fly off to crash a safe distance away from the rover. Huh. This is pretty complex, it seems, doing this 288 million miles from Earth. NASA refers to this nail-biting landing sequence as the 7 minutes of terror because there's so many things that can go wrong.
Is this the first time we've landed anything on Mars in the last 20 years, 25 years?
No, we've got a couple of rovers there right now that landed just a few years ago.
Okay, I missed that because I just remember a few years, I don't know, a decade ago that we crashed a probe into Mars. And you're going to love this because they failed to use metric. They used metric on one and standard on the other, or whatever. Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just, well, good. Hopefully their math is right now, and it wasn't someone like me doing these calculations.
Right. And it's tough anyway. Even when you do the math right, it's still incredibly difficult for some reason because Mars, the atmosphere is so much different, and it's a long way from here. It's the distance between Earth and Mars, I think right now is about 120 million miles. So why it's gone 288 million miles, I don't know. Any signal the rover beams back to Earth, though, will take about 11 minutes to reach us. But that's pretty fast, actually. And this is going to be the most complex rover that we've ever sent because it can drill down into the surface of Mars a lot further, and they're trying to find traces of water this time or life. And then there's going to be a helicopter that also jettisons from this thing, and they're going to try to fly around Mars with this helicopter for a while. So, I mean, it's a really cool mission if it works.
That is cool.
The robotic aircraft is named Ingenuity, and its core is about the size of a softball. For the past 7 months, the device has been rocketing toward the planet with the rover Perseverance. And so it should, again, it's gonna set down on Mars on Thursday, and I think Thursday is the day that the powerful rotors lift it into the Martian atmosphere and start flying it around the red planet. So, I mean, a really cool mission if it works. If it doesn't, we just wasted many billions of dollars on this thing and a lot of time.
Yeah, remember we were not making fun of, but just talking about that helicopter thing a few years ago. Like, really? We're going to have a helicopter on Mars? Well, it sounds like that's coming to fruition. Yeah. I really hope that this would be fun. This would be good.
I think it's really cool. And I
do too.
There's a lot of people who think it's a waste of time and money. But I don't. I think space exploration is important. It kind of unites us, as a planet. I think it's cool that the UAE, I had no idea the UAE had the ability to launch a rocket to Mars. And they did. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I looked into that because you remember how Obama was like, we got to use NASA to reach out to these Muslim nations. And I was thinking, all right, are they de facto NASA too? An American space program under a different flag? No, it doesn't look like that we funded them. So,
really?
Good for them. Yeah. So I hope that they have some progress. But that is kind of weird to say, the U.S., Russia, China, and the United Arab Emirates are all exploring outer space.
Kind of amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I said last week, it's like Iceland is launching probes to Mars. You just don't expect the UAE any more than Iceland to be doing that. But I guess we should expect it because they were able to do it. So good for them. Also, have you seen this big problem with the Bachelor's Chris Harrison?
Oh no.
Yeah, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. And his girlfriend, has taken a stand against him. Lauren Zima, who's been dating him for a couple of years, 2 years, posted a statement to her Instagram story after Harrison took a leave from the show for excusing a contestant's past racist behavior. His girlfriend wrote, "What Chris said was wrong and disappointing. Defending racism can never happen. Accountability comes first. What's next is learning and growth." So what was the big deal? What actually happened? What did Chris Harrison say?
Sounds serious.
What did he do that was so bad? Apparently, he was interviewing a contestant on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. I don't know. I don't watch the stupid show. But her name is Rachel Lindsay. And there were some pictures that came out from 3 years ago where she was at a party, but it was a party that included an antebellum party.
Oh, antebellum. Okay.
Yeah. Which exactly, I don't even know exactly what an antebellum party is.
Oh, you just dress up like the Old South, right?
That's what I thought it was, but really, is that what it is? You dress up like the Old South, and that's racism.
So wait.
Okay.
Like wearing a hoop dress, the big old, Scarlett O'Hara, that's racist now?
Yes, I guess so, because that's what she did. And she started apologizing for it profusely. Now, Chris Harrison kind of blew it off. First of all, he said it was like the woke police.
Yeah.
And he said, I saw a picture at a sorority party 5 years ago, and that's it. I'm like, really? What is this, the woke police? So she replied, well, the picture was from 2018 at an Old South antebellum party. That's not a good look. So she's condemning herself here. And he says, well, Rachel, is it a good look in 2018 or is it not a good look in 2021? Because there's a big difference. And she said it's not a good look ever. If I went to that party, what would I represent at that party? I don't know. A hoop dress? You like old dresses? Is that what you're representing? Because it doesn't mean you don't like black people. Where does this come from? This is the most asinine, ridiculous nonsense. Harrison said, well, you're 100% right in 2021. That was not the case in 2018. And again, I'm not defending Rachel. I just know that, and he's trying to help her here. I don't know, 50 million people did that in 2018. That was a type of party that a lot of people went to. And again, I'm not defending it. I didn't go to it. In another Instagram post, Harrison apologized for his original defense, writing to my Bachelor Nation family, I will always own a mistake when I make one. So he made a mistake by defending her. So I am here to extend a sincere apology. I have this incredible platform to speak about love, and yesterday I took a stance on topics about which I should have been better informed. Yeah, when you wear dresses from the South, that means you hate all minorities, I guess. This is
madness, man.
Absolute madness. Absolute unbelievable madness. Now, this guy has had to apologize profusely. So, by the way, has she. She's condemned herself, and so is he now. And he stepped away from the show. He's not doing the show the rest of the year. He's not going to be there for the Rose party or whatever. I don't know what they do on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Seriously.
The Rose celebration, the Rose ceremony, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
you get a rose, you get to stay, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. And he's not going to be there for the end of it. And then he's not also going to be there for the wrap-up where they discuss the season afterwards. He's gone for the rest of the year. For the rest of the season, Chris Harrison is out because he defended this woman saying, this is a 2018 sensibility that we didn't have. And he's right. Nobody was doing this in 2018 and saying that you couldn't dress up in Southern Belle dresses and go to a sorority party.
This is madness.
It's got to stop.
I am not exaggerating when I say, and I'm sure a lot of people have this mindset anyhow. I was born and raised in the South. Mm-hmm. Is it time to cancel me?
Yes, I think it is, Keith. Yeah, it is. Did you grow up in Atlanta, in the Atlanta area?
I did.
You know, that's where the Civil War kind of, because of
General Sherman came in there and set the place on fire.
Right.
So
because of that,
we learned our lesson.
And Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind.
It's an evil place, and we know that now. And so when you grow up in an evil place, that makes you evil. And so it's time to cancel your horrible evil.
I'd rather just be judged on the fact that all of our sports teams manage to choke in all sports every year. But whatever. Yeah. It's seriously, you know that they've got the new Aunt Jemima name.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? They finally rolled that out. Okay.
Yeah, Pearl Milling Company or something.
Oh, right. Look at that. That's what I'm gonna get.
That's way better. Look at that. Now that's not racist anymore. That's perfect. Yeah,
Think about it.
The Pearl Milling Company came from two guys who I believe owned slaves or weren't.
Don't do it. No.
What was the deal?
We already fixed it.
Did we?
I don't know. We've already fixed it. When I say I want syrup, I'm not allowed to say, do you have any Aunt Jemima? I have to say, hey, do you have any
Pearl Milling Company syrup?
Seriously,
So
I want to know.
stupid.
Now you've got me wondering, are you saying that the guys who founded this were slave owners?
Yeah, that they were, or they didn't. Yeah, there was some kind of racist thing with them too. They weren't there for the rose ceremony or the rose whatever thing, and they. I think people wore dresses or something that were from the South when they were alive. So they're racists, obviously. Like Chris Harrison, they're racists.
Yeah, obviously.
And there's just no way around it. There's just no way around it.
Seriously, you can extrapolate anybody into being canceled in this culture.
You sure can.
It's madness.
It's, this stuff, I don't even watch The Bachelor. I don't care about The Bachelor. I'm not a Chris Harrison fan. I just think this is so ridiculous what they're doing to this guy and what they're doing to the contestant, this Rachel person, for going to an antebellum party 3 years ago, before all of this began. Come on. There's nobody who can't be canceled now. Based on something you've said in the past, something you thought in the past, something you wore in the past. It's unreal. All right, try to stay warm, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.